Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel. After a long hiatus, we're back on Street Fighter Duel. The only reason there's been a hiatus is because there's been nothing to do, to talk about, because the event ended, we covered the new character. What we're going to talk about? Well, we can talk about part 2. So the Turtles obviously are coming back in part 2, and everyone should now be 100% certain, despite what people were saying, people were still worried, but everyone should now be 100% secure in the knowledge that you can use your tickets in part 2. It's still Leonardo's face on the tickets, there's nothing to worry about, right? Now, one thing I've seen said quite a bit by players who maybe have picked up on this collab a little late is, am I now out of luck? Can I not get Leonardo or Michelangelo? The simple answer to that is we don't know. It's not as cut and dry as saying no, right? Because a lot of games, when they do a large collab like this, they sometimes at the end do what's called a last chance banner, where you do get a chance to get the earlier units, right? Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen here. All I'm saying is we don't know that it's not going to happen here. What I would say though, is if it does happen, a last chance banner normally has all the units in it. So I would expect it to be a banner that would have all 4 Turtles at a 0.5% rate, so that combined it's a 2% rate. So the same idea as the current banner that we'll get for these guys, where it will be Donatello at 1%, Raphael at 1%. On a last chance banner, I would expect it to be Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo, Michelangelo, all at 0.5%. So if they do that, you will have a chance, but it'll be hard, right? So I'm just saying, I would expect on that though, the pity would just be a box with all 5. That's how I would expect that one to play out, if it happens. So if you're really desperate to know if it's going to happen, you could maybe wait to the last day or 2 of this banner, and then make a decision on if you're going to summon or not, because we might know then by that point if you're going to have a last chance banner or not, right? So Turtles, we know they're coming next week. There's not really going to be much more to talk about until then, but I did want to in this video talk about something else. Now this is, call it a tip, call it a hint, whatever. It's maybe something I should have spoken about a long time ago, and it's only really now because I'm trying to build up an account for my son that it's made me realise that maybe some people don't do this. But 2 things, right? One, with this on the go at the moment, you should be using this to your advantage, okay? Now, I've only got diamonds in here because I could not be bothered to do any more refreshes, right? But you should be spending your diamonds to refresh this to absolutely max out on breakstones, okay? It's totally going to help your growth, whether you're a free-to-play player or whether you're a spender. I, as a minimum, would be either taking breakstones, or if you really want to, you can take the diamonds, right? Because like 300 diamonds, it's no bad. I see it as, you know what, I had to refresh 6 times, I'll take the 300 diamonds, it covers the cost of refreshing. But you should be taking advantage of this every time it comes, right? You should be abusing it basically to get as many breakstones as possible, as it's what's going to help you really grow your account, okay? Now the other thing I want to talk about is Wish Roulette, right? Now Wish Roulette is another thing that, depending on how you play, right? Depending on what type of player you are, you should be trying to abuse this as well, right? Now, there's 2 different approaches here. There's free to play, and then there is people who spend. If you're spending on this, apart from picking up the 1 special coin that you get for $1, you want to be buying the packs from the daily section, not the special section, the daily section, because you'll be getting your spins on this board at a cost that is comparable to what you would spend in the special section, but you're going to get additional things, right? So if we go to here and we go to the standard mall, these packs here, you are going to get more bang for your buck if you just buy these and take the coins that come along with it as a bonus, right? That's going to help you get extra things from this wheel, okay? I would just level up the key things, which to me, you can see it on screen. It's going to be your tickets, it's going to be your soul stones, it's going to be your fighting spirit boost boxes, right? That's the type of things you want to be picking up from here. Now, when it comes to the exchange tent, my point of view here probably diverges quite a bit from other players. Maybe I look at this through a paying player's point of view. I don't know, but I don't think I do. People say to me quite a lot, how are you supposed to get units built up, these special summon units, these divination units and that type of things, right? I always find that those players never take the units from these exchanges. They only ever go for these, or sometimes these, right? That's what players are generally doing. And then they never ever ever go for any of these. Now, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I think you should be going for these. When there's a good character, I think you should be going for these, because these guys will only be around for about 4 events, okay? So for about 4 events, they'll be in exchanges like this. You'll be able to get about 4 copies, okay? Whereas every event, you can get these. You can get these. Although you do go through them a lot, you get lots of chances to get them. You don't get loads of chances to get these units. And this guy in particular, he's a very good unit. And you don't even need to have him at a high level to do what he does. And you know what? Even though I'm not mad keen for him, because at the point I would say he becomes really good, he's going to be SSS, right? Because on his C2, I think it is, he gets damage reduction for the enemy, where they can resist damage less. They resist damage less often. It's Honda, what Honda gets on his C1. You've got to build him for that. But early on, you do get attack boost from just his C1, and he survives even at a low level, right? So he's very, very good for that. And even this guy, even at an A rank, being on the field, he does very well. He does very well surviving if you put him on the right team, and he will boost up your characters quite a bit. So, in my opinion, you should choose one of these 2 characters from this exchange. You should not, this time, if you do it all the time, don't this time. Don't go for what you usually go for. Go for one of these 2 characters. And honestly, if the character on this board is good, then I do think you should focus on the character more than the short-term growth you're going to get from boost stones, from fighting spirit stones, that type of thing. I think you should be looking to get yourself a copy of probably Gen, if I'm being honest, or pick yourself up a copy of Hugo from this. 100%, it's totally what I think you should be doing, right? With regards to street art, I mean, street art, it's really dependent on you, right? People look at this box and they think, oh, that's crap. Well, it's not crap. I'm slowly using the box to build up my Chief Viper. Although, to be honest, this time I'm not too sure, because if I look here and I go to Awaken, I actually only need 1 of this guy. And for Viper, I need 2 Vipers to get her up to the next level. So, I mean, either or. I'm not too sure which one I'm going to go for just yet. It makes more sense to go for Dalsim, I suppose, but I'm further ahead on Viper, so I feel like I should just stick to the one thing and keep going. So when it comes to the units, I would just, out of the 2 of them, if you've not started building them at all, ask yourself this: do you have Train the Kami? If you do, then maybe go for Dalsim, because he works really well with Train the Kami. If you don't, then Viper is more of a, she doesn't really pair up with anyone, she'll just work, so go for Viper. But anyway, this is more of a just a, I'm checking in, still making content, just gotta wait for actual things to make content on. So yeah, that's it. You can go and watch me playing 40 minutes of solo leveling if you want. I don't know if I'm going to make content on that game, I've got no idea. There's 2 games in the future I'm looking forward to trying out for content. I'm going to make content on the new Cookie Run game, because it is actually a lot of fun, and there's actually a new game coming out from Supercell that looks pretty good that I think I'm going to give a go. Totally different to the type of things that people would be used to, but I don't want to just go and play another idle game. You know, what's the point? It's just the same thing in a different coat of paint. So check that out when it drops, but if you want to see something different, you can go and watch me raging at solo leveling. And yeah, I've been Hayzink, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.